Welcome back to a whole new episode of Who Are We? My name is Catrice Roots, the founder of this series, and today we are talking about Chuck Brown. Roll that intro. Watch this. This is a Who Are We coffee mug. Y'all can go on my website, CatriceRootsProductions.com, and get this coffee mug. Watch it. Give it some time. Look, you see it? You see it? Oh, look at that. Look at it. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Oh, but guys, you guys can go and get this and other coffee mugs. But this is the only one that does this. But you guys can go and get this and other coffee mugs and other accessories out of, my web, off of my store, out of my store. Go to CatriceRootsProductions.com and use the discount code CRP for free shipping. Chuck Brown, you guys know how to do a Who Are We episode on him, because he's the sound of DC, Virginia, Maryland, and even parts of North Carolina. So I'm like, dude, why have I not done an episode on him earlier? I don't know, but we're here now. Anyways, Chuck Brown, born August 22nd in 1936 in Gaston, North Carolina. Shortly after his family moved to Emporia, Virginia, then to Mechanicsville, Virginia, which is literally like 15, 20 minutes away from me, Mechanicsville, Virginia, then Alberta, Virginia, then McKinley, Virginia. Then they finally settled in Richmond, Virginia. Throughout his childhood, like he was just like from one place to another place to another place. Man, but they finally settled in Richmond, Virginia. But it wasn't until Chuck Brown moved to Alberta, Virginia, when he first discovered he had a thing for music.
Got to Alberta, which is, I like driving down through there, and I reminisce a lot, And I said, I remember the same road that I used to live on, and the train tracks went in back of the house, and I used to go down to the train track and watch the trains go by and beat into the rocks had my little rhythm, you know what I'm saying? I always had rhythm. I was born with that, and beat into the rocks as the train went. My mom said that boy gonna be something one day. And the same highway, it was a dirt road then, and now it's a big 4-lane highway now that runs through there.
So and even when you were like 4 and 5 years old, you would sit
musically inclined.
It sounds
definitely,
like
and my mother taught me how to sing. It was in me, And me and my mother used to sing. We used to go from house to house on the weekends, and people used to feed us, and I'd sing with my mother, and everybody was just thrilled about that. That little boy was singing, you know what I mean?
By the time Chuck's family moved to, as Chuck called it, the big city, Richmond, Virginia, his love for music grew, especially with his mother keeping him in church and him always singing with his mother and stuff like that. So it's like he was immediately from a young age very like one of his very first influences with music was with the Southern Black Baptist Church, and singing all those tunes and songs and stuff. Although Chuck was consistently surrounded by music and singing with his mom, he didn't start playing instruments until they moved to DC.
I kept me in church, of course, and I started playing a little bit of piano when I was 7 years old. We were in Washington then. We didn't move from Richmond to Washington then. And I was playing a little piano in Mount Zion, Holiness Church. I drive by there. Matter of fact, I drove by there yesterday. Me and my wife looked yesterday. My church mama is still there, And it's right
Fairmont
there. Yeah, Fairmont Heights. It's right there on 62nd and Addison Road.
As Chuck got older, he got into some trouble a little bit, Nice guy, just got a little bit into trouble, Sometimes it be like that. But he got into some trouble. But this experience of him getting in trouble and going to prison really was a benefit to him in his life. Like, you just never do know how what's gonna help you improve and what's going to make you change throughout life. Other people may look at it as bad situations, but if it helped you out and if it helped you become a better musician or, you know, just a better person overall, then hey. But anyways, from Chuck's perception and from many other people that know about Chuck's life, the prison experience for him is what made him a professional musician. Like, it made him go from okay to, oh wow, he's serious. So pretty much, his prison experience would change his life forever, which made him a better musician. While he was in prison, he learned to play the guitar, alongside with Chuck teaching himself how to play the guitar. He also had people like Bill Walker, Scotty, who used to play for Count Basie, and Joe Jennifer teach him how to play the guitar professionally. Like, he was in prison with professional musicians that taught him how to play the guitar professionally. What? And on top of that, like he talked about, they had many other programs and stuff like that in the prison that he was in. He was in Lorton prison, so he learned a lot there, because it's not like prisons today where they don't really have any, like this prison, like they actually had stuff to have you prepared for when you go out into society, you're not left behind. Like most prisons, they just keep you sitting up in there with no programs, no nothing to help you, you know. Anyways, then when Chuck Brown became really good at playing the guitar, he performed at one of the programs the prison had. The prison used to have this Saturday night show where people in the prison, they had some type of talent, they would perform it.
And then when I got good enough to get on the show, they had shows every Saturday in the auditorium. I got good enough to get on the show because all the guys in the dormitory, I kept singing and playing. And, man, Charlie Brown, you got to get on the show, man. We want to see you over there, man. Okay, on Saturday, showtime is 5 o'clock. Chow time is 5 o'clock. The first Saturday that I went over there, I guess I made such an impression. They had me back the next Saturday, and there wasn't nobody in the mess hall. They had to shut down the mess hall. Well, it was a few Muslim brothers in the mess hall, but everybody was in the auditorium. Charlie Brown on the show, you know? And they changed the chow time from 5 o'clock, see, showtime 5 o'clock to 7:30, and then chow time is 5 o'clock. They changed shower time to 8 o'clock because there wasn't nobody in the mess hall. I was on the show.
It says by the time the 1960s came, Chuck was just missing one more thing from him creating the genre of go-go that we know today. It wasn't until he met Jerry Butler and the Earls of Rhythm and played for them, and he joined the Los Latinos, a band that played the top 40 music with Latin flavor. So he got in it, like he was playing all like with these Latino jazz bands and Latino bands, and musicians and stuff, and just while he was playing, he was just intaking all of that Latino music and also all that like African rhythms with the congos and bongos that they use, all that type of stuff. Like he was taking in all that and eventually added it to his element. And so overall, Chuck's love for blues, jazz, gospel, Latin, and African rhythms is all what created this unique sound of what we know as today as go-go. Some of Chuck Brown's well-known songs are, I know everybody probably know Bustin' Loose.
Feel like bustin' loose. Give me the bridge out, give me the bridge now. I feel like bustin' loose, bustin' loose. I said, Shala, come on, y'all said. Put your voice down.
We Need Some Money. Chuck Baby.
It's all on you, baby. And she said, they said, he said, you said, that ain't true. Yes, I do. I love all of you.
Block Party.
Nothing like summertime in the hood. Let's have a block party. Get on up, ain't got nothing else to do. Let's have a barbecue. Grab your phone, everybody go call the blue. Let's have a block party. Summertime and the sun don't set tonight. As long as the beat don't break and the wine keep popping, we gonna keep rocking till the cops come knocking. Let 'em up, turn around, way up, grab a hand all the way. Turn around now, stop, move around now, go left, out, down, right, ladies, take your hand now, stop.
Wind Me Up, Chuck.
Okay. With the way it's so easy, you can use a bottle, make it any way that you please. Rock your body because I know that you got 'em. Can't do without 'em, don't tell me you forgot 'em. You got to know that's what it do. You keep me
Midnight Sun.
baby, your love is like sugar and spice. You got no right to be so nice. Keep doing the things that you know I like, girl. And that when you do love, it's not gonna be on the side.
Like, he got a lot of like well-known songs, but I'm just naming the few that I know people would probably be like, oh, I know that. Oh, and by the way, something that I did not mention in this and like my writing, but eventually, like when he branched off and created his own go-go band, he looked for some musicians and stuff like that, and he created his own, like, it was like the Soul Searchers. That was the name of his go-go band and stuff like that. So anyways, bonus facts, okay? For those of you that are not from the DMV area, Chuck Brown and other go-go artists are the signature sound of the DMV area, especially obviously Chuck Brown. Like Chuck Brown is well respected by people in the DMV area, you know what I'm saying? Like he's just like a down-to-earth person, musician, talented musician. He's just a down-to-earth talented musician that just like having a good time and creating good music, you know, and that's why all of us DMV people love him. And also he's just right from our area, you know what I'm saying? Like he grew up in the Mechanicsville, Richmond, like all throughout parts of Virginia, grew up in DC, you know, and stuff like that. So it's like he has a lot of ties to the DMV area as a whole. And also he performed the most in the DMV area, especially obviously in DC. Also, Chuck Brown had a heavy influence on artists like Dougie Fresh, Jill Scott, Wale, and just many others. Those are like the only few people I can think of right now, but it's a lot of other well-known like mainstream artists that we know today that were actually heavily influenced by Chuck Brown. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed, you know, my hometown guy Chuck Brown, you know what I'm saying, this episode. I was so excited to work on this one because like it's a good amount of interviews, but it's not a lot. And it's like, I just feel like Chuck Brown, he deserves way more credit. More people need to start talking about him, you know what I'm saying? Because he's just like, man, like his personality, his energy is just magnetic, and his music just, if you're ever in a bad mood or your spirit is down, just go and listen to some go-go music by Chuck Brown. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this episode. And I'll see you guys next month, probably on another group of episodes I'm going to record in bulk and put it out or whatever. Also, you guys go and check out the Who Are We merch. Like I said, look at this. Look at the coffee mug now. Now it's fully white, but it still has a black handle. but now it's like you can fully see the Who Are We stuff. You know, so go and get some Who Are We merchandise, go and get some Who Are We accessories, coffee mugs, socks, hats, all that type of stuff, posters. You know, I have in the description down below. I also have the sources to what I use to look up Chuck Brown's biography, and the sources below as well in the description below. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in another episode.